guys, how have you been? Well, let's go on with our book, lesson 7, page 64. Okay? New content. Childhood. To be scared. To be afraid. Scary. Tone. Voice. Bedtime. A story. A fairy tale. Once upon a time, a hobby. Okay, guys, childhood is the name that we give to the period when we are children. Okay? To be scared, to be afraid are the same thing. Okay? To be scared, to be afraid, they mean to feel fear, to feel frightened, to feel worry. Okay? For example, I am afraid of heights, of high places. Okay, I don't feel well, so I can say that I am afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of spiders. Okay? Scary is the adjective. Okay, for example, spiders are scary for some people. Or children, when small children think that monsters are scary, okay? They are scared of monsters. They think monsters are scary, okay? Okay, tone, guys, is how our voice sounds, okay? So, voice is what's coming from my mouth, the sound coming from my mouth, it's my voice, okay? Tone of voice is the difference of tone in my voice. For example, some people, when they talk to children, they talk like this. They change their tone of voice. Okay? Bedtime is time to go to bed, to sleep. Okay? A story is just like Portuguese. A fairy tale is a story, okay? But is a story that normally has, not normally always, a fairy tale has magic and a happy ending, okay? Once upon a time is an expression with which many fairy tales begin. Once upon a time, it means a long time ago, okay? So most fairy tales begin with this expression, once upon a time. For example, once upon a time there was a princess. She lived in a castle with the king and the queen, okay? Once upon a time. And a hobby is, we use the same word in Portuguese. A hobby is something that you use to distract yourself, okay? During, well, your free time. Good? So guys, let's repeat. In my childhood, I was scared of some fairy tales. Tell me a bedtime story, please, the child said. Most fairy tales start with the words, once upon a time. To be afraid and to be scared mean the same. I always change the tone of my voice when I tell stories. Very good. Let's practice, guys. Remember that I read both question and answer, okay? I will leave 1 or 2 seconds between them so you can read the answer before I do, okay? Do you know the names of some famous fairy tales? Yes, I know the names of some famous fairy tales. Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Did your parents used to tell you bedtime stories in your childhood? Yes, my parents used to tell me bedtime stories in my childhood. What is childhood? Childhood is the period of time when a person is a child. like to watch films about fairy tales? Yes, I like to watch films about fairy tales. Are some fairy tales scary? Yes, some fairy tales are scary. What are you scared of? I am scared of heights. What is Robert scared of? Robert is scared of flying on a plane. Do you change the tone of your voice when you are talking to a baby? No, I don't change the tone of my voice when I am talking to a baby, but I change the tone of my voice when I am talking to my cats. What are most children afraid of? Most children are afraid of monsters. Read the first line of the fairy tale Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Does everybody have a different tone of voice? Yes, everybody has a different tone of voice. Are there any monsters behind you? I hope not. No, there aren't any monsters behind me. What were your hobbies during your childhood? My hobbies were collecting stamps during my childhood. Is your teacher scary? No, my teacher isn't scary. Do you think that horror films are scary? Yes, I think that horror films are scary. Are you going to read a story during your English course at this school? Yes, I am going to read a story during my English course at this school. Will you change anything in your life next year? No, I don't believe I will change anything in my life next year. Okay guys, so the new content is over. This lesson is actually over, okay, lesson 7. So we gotta do dictation 6, okay? So let's start. There are 1,000 grams. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. Full stop. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. Full stop. I always weigh my ingredients. I always weigh my ingredients in pounds and ounces. Full stop. In pounds and ounces. Full stop. Repeating, I always weigh my ingredients in pounds and ounces. Full stop. You need butter, comma. You need butter, comma. Eggs, comma. Sugar, comma. Flour and baking powder. Flour and baking powder. To make a cake, full stop. To make a cake, full stop. Repeating. You need butter, eggs, sugar, flour, and baking powder to make a cake. Full stop. Early, comma. Rarely, comma. All day and still. All day and still are examples of adverbs. Are examples of adverbs. Of time in English. Of time in English. Full stop. Repeating. Early, rarely, all day and still are examples of adverbs of time in English. Full stop. She spoke English easily. She spoke English easily. To the American teacher. Full stop. To the American teacher. Full stop. Repeating, she spoke English easily to the American teacher. Full stop. The teacher says, don't give up. The teacher says, don't give up. When I find English difficult. Full stop. When I find English difficult. Full stop. Repeating, the teacher says, don't give up when I find English difficult. Full stop. The simple past form. The simple past form of ride is rode. Full stop. Of ride is rode. Full stop. Repeating, the simple past form of ride is rode. Full stop. The sun rose at 6 o'clock this morning. The sun rose at 6 o'clock this morning. And it will set at 8 p.m. Full stop. And it will set at 8 p.m. Full stop. Repeating, the sun rose at 6 o'clock this morning and it will set at 8 p.m. Full stop. The door closed suddenly. The door closed suddenly. But the baby surprisingly didn't cry. But the baby surprisingly didn't cry. Full stop. Repeating, the door closed suddenly, but the baby surprisingly didn't cry. Full stop. Useless is the opposite of useful. Full stop. Useless is the opposite of useful. Useless is the opposite of useful. Full stop. The devil and demons. The devil and demons live in hell, and God lives in heaven, full stop. And God lives in heaven, full stop. Repeating, the devil and demons live in hell, and God lives in heaven. Nowadays, there are many atheists in China, and many Christians in Brazil. Repeating. Nowadays, there are many atheists in China and many Christians in Brazil. The media showed a very religious woman on TV last night, full stop. Repeating, the media showed a very religious woman on TV last night, full stop. I believe in angels, full stop. I believe in angels, full stop. I believe in angels, full stop. Okay, guys, so dictation is over, okay? I want you to correct it, and your next lesson will be alive with Giovanna, okay? Guys, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.